And salutations, Serjavians. It is Serjay Svek back with another stream. Good to see you all. And we are at episode 7 of DJ Serjay. DJ Serjay. Serjay. And welcome everybody, and welcome back to the show. I hope that everybody is doing well. It is a holiday in the Philippines, December 8th, 2022, and I hope that everybody has had a good rest. And for those of you who are celebrating the holiday, I hope that you will be able to enjoy your time off, make it have all the fun that you want, be as productive as you need to if need be, and hopefully just to enjoy your time. That's all I think that we could all ask for at this point, And once again, everybody, thank you very much for dropping by. And for those of you who are watching the VOD, I hope that you are doing well as well. It is almost the weekend again, and boy, oh boy, December is just proving to be something absolutely different. You know what I mean? It's really becoming a challenge just to be able to book rides, especially if you use a ride sharing service like Grab, which is like Lyft or Uber. And And if you're not careful, you're gonna end up late almost all the time, which is me. And you could not even begin how embarrassing it is to have to deal with that every single time, you know? There are just so many things happening. People are getting, going home. They have to worry about their families. There's just a lot of other things. But I would like to say there's this one less thing that I have to worry about, which is to welcome our raiders as well. So Doremi Coffee, thank you very much for dropping by. Glad to have you here. Good to see you all. And once again, my name is Serjay Svek. I am the Color Server VTuber, and I am here just talking about my day and enjoying, just trying to talk about my stuff. And thank you very much all for the follows once again. And for those of you who are not familiar with Doremi Coffee, if you want to go ahead and listen to someone who's very knowledgeable about a number of different topics as well, and one of my inspirations for doing more Just Chatting streams, you go ahead and listen to follow Doremi Coffee as well. I've already given a shout out in the chat. And yes, feel free to go ahead and make tambay Doremi Coffee. Glad to have you here. And once again, thank you for sharing your community as well with me. And good to catch your DJ Serjay stream, Din P. Serjay. Thank you very much for that. And also Inamaki Katsuki, thank you for the follow, as well as you, Bengun Leash 1. Appreciate it very much. Okay, so we didn't really go that far. We were just talking about how terrible traffic is lately, because ever since December began, we've been having I have been having so much difficulty just getting a Grab ride. And that really makes me sad, because last night, for example, I had to go wait around 3 hours of booking just to be able to get a ride. So if you're like me and you work the night shift, you really cannot leave unless you have to leave like earlier than 5 p.m. Goodness gracious, it's really that bad. And thank you for the follow, if you dare blog. And yeah, ako naman ang audience impact, thank you for that as well, Doremi Coffee. And yeah, traffic gets worse each year. Can confirm extra hard when November and December. That's true. And last night as well, especially for a number of companies, they are also celebrating their Christmas parties, exchange gifts and stuff like that. So a lot of people were like really, really scrambling, trying to enjoy their last minute stuff at the office before they go just celebrate the holiday today. And for a number of the audience here, you're probably not going to have to go to work or to school today, because it is December 8th, a holiday in the Philippines. So for those of you who are affected by it, well, I hope that you have a great day and that you'll be able to get all the rest that you need. Or if you need to do something, I hope you'll be able to accomplish all of your goals for today. Me, I have to go rest not long after this, and be able to get prepared for work tonight, because we don't really follow it in my company, so there's that. But that's just how it is. You cannot always get work that will always accommodate what you want. You get what you pay for. You have to live with it sometimes, and that's just how it is. That's just how adulting is. But one thing that I would like to say is that at least last night was pretty fun. If you follow my Twitter, and I do have a Twitter account, you might have seen that I posted just now what happened last night, which is that I went to a Korean barbecue as well. So it's been a very long time since I actually had samgyup. Goodness gracious, samgyup is really, really fun. Like that. Yes, we always adjust to, Doremi Coffee. You know what the famous line, ba't palaging ako na lang nag-a-adjust? Ako na lang palaging nag-a-adjust, the line says. I don't know where that came from, but that was really, really popular for a time. Yeah, man. Hashtag manifesting always, Doremi Coffee. And welcome as well, Tachikoma. Good to have you here. I hope that you are doing well. And so, and 30% bonus din for today. That is very true. That is very true. So, yeah. It'd be like that. And also, samgyeopsal makes me hungry. Yeah. If it's your first time, if you dare blog, it's gonna be like it's expected, you know. One thing that we love to do here in the Serjavian Nation is talk about food, because that's one of the things that was always fun to talk about. Okay, now, so the samgyup last night was fine. I can never really it's not samgyup salamat. Because if you want to get samgyeopsal, the first name that usually comes to mind is Samgyup Salamat, the most popular one. But I have never been to Samgyup Salamat, so you'll have to tell me what is the experience like if you already went to Samgyup Salamat. For those of you who don't know, some years ago, I used to go do food reviews, and I have visited some of those other Korean restaurants like Soban, K-Town, and then Jinju, and then K-Pub. I've been to K-Pub as well. It's good. But K-Pub is fine. But if you want to go to the super fancy one, then you go to like Jinju. Because Jinju is the one with, I think it's Jinju. The one with the 11 flavors of samgyeopsal, because it's marinated in different kinds. So you've got curry, you've got the regular salt and pepper, you've got kimchi, you've got a whole bunch of other things. 11 types. And Jinju is also known for their ribs, because the ribs are so good, you know. Ribs, and then they have the boiling melted cheese. And what the servers would do is that they would pick up the ribs with the tongs, and then with the chopsticks they would wrap the melted cheese around the ribs. Oh, goodness gracious. I think if I did not was not exposed to Japanese culture first, and was not like an anime fan, I probably would have been a fan of K-pop and stuff, because just for the simple fact that Koreans love cheese. As in, they love cheese. We'll get back to that in a minute. Let's go read some of the comments. Yeah, food is love, food is life, definitely. Always food, and something about food is it always brings people together. You'll get to enjoy your time. And you know what? Spending time with people is always made better with food. And sometimes spending time with yourself is made better with food. Always, always. And let's see. Oh, so you've never been to Samgyup Salamat as well, Doremi Coffee. I see. Okay. Well, yeah, I think there's a lot that I would need to know. So if anyone knows, let me know. And going back to K-Pub, if you dare, the K-Pub is great. The only problem that I have with K-Pub is that it can be a little bit noisy, you know? The appeal of K-Pub is that there's always going to be like this live performance. And personally, me, I was never a fan of like those clubs, the bars, that sort of thing, you know, where the loud music blares and people go doosh, 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 doosh. And when I finally leave the venue, I can barely hear anything. I like to keep my ears. Thank you. I like to keep my hearing. Dare is okay. Okay, thank you. I'll remember that, Dare. But K-pub food is great. If you really want like a party setting, go for K-pub, because you're definitely going to be entertained by the performers there. If you want like high-class premium, go to Jinju or Soban K-Town. Or what was that? what was that other one? There's like a third. There's like a family of 3 different Korean restaurants. There's Soban K-Town, there's something, and then another one. But anyway, that's beside the point. And if you want to go to like the super popular one, that's a little more accessible, go to Samgyup Salamat. Yeah, it's party mode always over there in K-Pub. Doremi Coffee says, the appeal of eating alone also hits different. That's true. You know, I remember there was this post featured, I think it was on Facebook or on Twitter, where they were like, there was this person that took a picture of another person who was sitting alone in a fast food restaurant. And long story short, the person who took the picture said, oh, you know, I pity this guy. He's just sitting alone. I want to approach him and, you know, tell him that he is not alone because he looks so lonely. He looks so sad. And a bunch of other things like that. But a lot of people, and I'm very happy to see this, a lot of people told the original poster that no, just because a person is outside eating by themselves doesn't mean that they're sad, doesn't mean that they're lonely. Sometimes they just want to be alone. Sometimes they just want to be alone. And there's nothing wrong with being alone. It's I think people really need to understand that just because you're not with someone doesn't mean that you're going to have a sad life. The freedom of being alone, yes. And alone but not lonely, that is very true. I know I would eventually like to have a partner, but I'm not going to rush into it just because I want to stave off the loneliness in my heart. I do admit sometimes I want to have a partner, but you know, if the only reason why I want to have a partner is just because I want to have someone that I'm not alone, or excuse me, I don't feel lonely, then I think you have to reevaluate why you want to get into a relationship. So, long story short, as what Tachikoma says and puts very well, mind your own business. Right? And though for real, sanayan lang din. So for the non-Filipinos, yes, you just get, you know, it's just something you're used to. You have to get used to it. But you're happy if you're used to it also. Yes. You don't have to force yourself to be in a relationship just because you think that you want to stave off your loneliness. I think one thing that I learned when I was in a relationship is sometimes I confuse it for just wanting companionship. You know, because I wanted to have like a good friend, someone to talk to. And sometimes it's also bad to have that kind of mindset that you just want to be in a relationship with someone because you want to have companionship. Companionship is not wrong. It's just, you know, there has to be something more than that. Dear God, I'm actually talking about relationships now. And I am the least authoritative person to talk about relationships, I think. That's something that Doremi Coffee would probably be better at advising. I'm so sorry. Goodness gracious. Anyway, going back to yes, very good advice from Doremi Coffee. Kasi selfish din pag for the sake of having someone long baga. Just kidding. It's also selfish just to have a relationship for the sake of having someone. Yeah. just to have someone there. You know what I mean? Which is true. You can't always just. There has to be something more. Just going back to what I said, there has to be something more. And Tachikoma mentions, I always go for last screening in the cinemas or movies. Lamige, it's cold. And then Doremi Coffee says, Ay tama, kaso scary pag malayo commute. Yeah, that's true. It's kind of scary to go to places like that, like the last screening of cinemas or anywhere, especially at night, especially nowadays, because you're never really certain, especially with the pandemic and everything. Scary. Clear comms, if ever. Always, focus on the clear communication. And yeah, especially with closing of the malls. That has happened to me as a kid. I used to be so scared whenever I would hear the closing jingle of SM, because that's the time when people really need to get out. They're gonna get out. And people are probably used to the classic song of SM malls, which is like, here at SM, we've got it all for you. But did you know that when SM is going to close, they have their own closing jingle? But I'm not the type that will go and stay there and find and listen to the closing jingle, because I don't want to go wait until the very end. Woo. But yes, it exists. But I kind of like the last full show, but yeah, it's kind of dangerous to go. So always be safe. And especially if you're going to commute. And going back to what I mentioned earlier, especially around this time in December, because if you're like me, you're probably going to have to wait 3 hours just to get a ride to go from point A to point B, even though it's like less than 5 kilometers away. As in. And even just taking a taxi, this is why I prefer to take Grab or Joyride over taking a taxi. Because there's always like this bunch of taxi drivers that will never accept me to take me to my destination. I'll always say, oh, can you take me here? And they're gonna be like, no. They're just gonna wave off and say no. And earlier when I tried to get into a taxi, I tried opening the door. He did not even unlock the door at all, the driver. As in. And as soon as I went to another driver, I asked him, can you help me go to this place? They were like, no, wave off. That's it. At least it's a little better compared to those taxis that are like, oh, that place is so far. Give me an extra 300 pesos. My gosh. Dang it. Seriously? Like that. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, because it's not always easy to find passengers. So, but of course, as a consumer, I need to find something that's a little more convenient. And yeah, Grab is convenient if you can afford it. It's more expensive naturally, but you pay for the convenience. That's the thing. You pay for the convenience one way or another. When I ride a taxi, well, in Grab, you have ways to direct your driver to where you need to go. If I'm in a taxi, I become Waze. Okay, sir, please tell me. Okay, please turn right, please turn left. I cannot relax. I cannot relax at all. I have to do the work. I can't. How am I supposed to live, laugh, and love in these conditions? How am I supposed to listen to Doremi Coffee whenever she does her early morning streams? Goodness gracious. My goodness. Yeah, and that's why, yes, I do miss Uber. Uber being the alternative for Grab. It was really good for a time. And especially when Uber allowed that you could pay in cash, or I think they allowed you to pay in Gcash, because at first they only allowed you to pay, I think, via credit card only. Joyride is there as an alternative. Joyride used to be like motorcycles only, like Angkas, but recently they also have a car service. But if Grab does not do, if it's very difficult to get rides via Grab, it's even more difficult to get actually a ride via Joyride. There is no joy in Joyride. I know the answer to my problem would probably be to actually ride Angkas, which is like ride a motorcycle with a driver. But I'm scared. I'm scared of motorcycles. I only learned how to ride a bicycle when I was in my 20s. I bought a bicycle from Toy Kingdom, a sale, 1,000 pesos. And then I just stayed in the empty parking lot and then rode around until I could finally ride my bike. And because it was so cheap, it eventually broke down. But that's not the point. Yeah, Sun Turtle, good morning to you. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. And let me give you a shout out. Sun Turtle is also another Philippine VTuber streamer. So if you want to go ahead and spread the love, feel free to go ahead and give them a follow as well. Let's see. Taxi drivers picking them. Yeah, you pay for your own service. Also, Uber was cheaper back in the day, and you could pay via card and e-wallet. And Uber drivers were more professional back then, according to Tachikoma. Ah, okay. I like Uber than Grab. Yeah, that's true. Uber was fun. They had a bunch of nice options. And did you know that there was this time when Grab actually had the option of, what's this? Helicopter. Rent a helicopter. I think that even made the news, that you could actually rent a helicopter for Grab. And then you have the really fancy cars for Uber. Like if you don't want to ride just a regular car, if you want to pull up to the venue with a really fancy car, the premium cars, you can go get it in Uber and Grab as well. Let's see. Doremi said, Joyride is risky. Ah, okay. I understand. And if you can afford, better get Grab. Yeah, I understand. Very true, very true. I mean, nowadays, I would still ride the bus. I would have ridden the bus, but the problem is that they're now implementing what I always wanted. And that's the weird part. Which is the proper, like, a bus now has to actually follow the bus stops, the designated bus stops. They're no longer allowed to stop at every stop anymore. And because of that, the buses no longer stop near where I live. So I have to travel super, super far if I want to get on a bus nowadays. But I wish that was still an option. But anyway, that's just how it is. Can't beat them all. You have to adjust, as Doremi says. Sun Turtle says, wait, that's for Grab? Dang, I heard about the helicopter. I didn't know it was from Grab. Yeah, I think, if I recall, yes, it was Grab helicopter. And I think there was even one for like, I'm not sure if it was Grab or Uber, but it's like you can pay for someone to walk with you, to accompany you. And then there was like this other one on the news where it's like you can rent a horse, like if you're in Baguio or something. I don't know. There were just a bunch of weird things that appeared on the news about the services that Grab offers. But I'll be fine with just my cars. Thank you very much. Imagine having to rent a helicopter. How much money that would cost. And the thing is, you can't even just go anywhere you want to. I think for a number of the people that I actually follow on Twitter, a number of the Philippine VTubers, you're still in school, actually, which surprises me. And it makes me feel old. But nonetheless, I know that a number of you are having your tests, having your finals. I just want to wish you all good luck. I hope that you'll be able to pass. I know you've worked very hard to be where you're gonna go. Go ahead and do your best. And the reason why I mention that is because eventually, if and when you do graduate, imagine you're having your graduation rites. You're gonna walk, and then instead of walking to the podium, you pull up to the venue in a helicopter. Goodness gracious. That would be the ultimate flex. Don't just walk up to the podium. Get on a helicopter from Grab and then land over there. Grabe. Wow. Sun Turtle says, if that's the case, I might go be a rider, lol. Ride on my shell. What are your rates, Sun Turtle? Many options for different rides. That's right. Does it come with built-in ways, Sun Turtle? Dare agrees. The flex. The flex. That's right. Doremi says, deserve yung helicopter for the Hell College. Yeah, deserve a helicopter for Hell College. You know, I'll admit that when we arrived at my last year of college, I kind of got tired of everything, you know? I was pretty burned out. You know, I had to deal with my thesis. I had to deal with all of my classes and everything. And I don't know if this also applies to your college or university, but in mine, you are allowed a certain number of absences in a specific semester. So depending on the class, you're allowed, let's say, 5 or 7. And so for the first time in my 4th year, especially in the final semester, I pretty much maximized my absences at the time. Usually it's because I had to prepare for my thesis, but usually it was also because I was just pretty tired of going to school. I couldn't handle it anymore, you know? The pressure of of having to go through all of those things, it was just too much. I suppose you could call it a boss move, Doremi, but I do wish I was a lot stronger. I do wish that I could handle the pressure a lot better back in the day. And yeah, because, you know, it was really, really hard, especially with some electives and stuff like that. All my major subjects, my core subjects, there's just a whole bunch of things that you had to balance. And eventually, I just couldn't take it anymore. I was pretty lucky, actually, to be able to pass, actually. So, but I'm not going to complain. College has taught me a lot. I wish it could have been handled it a lot better, but I still managed to graduate on time. Doremi says, I should have done that, but I missed some classes too in senior when they're not worth my time. Yeah. In hindsight, some of the electives that I chose probably weren't really worth it, I guess. But, you know, you had to choose. You had to choose. And you had to fill that academic load. I am still amazed at some of my friends who were actually able to get like a minor in college, or especially those who actually had a double major. Goodness gracious, double major, as in. Flex. But that was them. This is me. You know, I can handle only what I can handle, and there's no point in regretting what I have done. Yeah. Minor subjects in college. Okay. So there. But anyway, careful now, Tachikoma. Careful. Anyway, so there's that. But we don't have to focus on such a depressing topic, because that was for me. College is something that I don't want to repeat. And funny enough, a number of my friends, they actually wanted to go take their master's or their doctorate, but I was like, no, please. No, thank you. I'm done. I got my diploma. Let me just work. I'll figure it out along the way. Hi. But yeah, I hope that for those of my friends who actually did get their master's and PhD, I hope they're happy. I certainly wouldn't have been happy because, well, after I graduated from college, my parents would not have been able, or would not have paid for my master's anymore. Because it's like the deal was like, okay, Serjay, you have to we'll finance your education until your 4th year of college. But after that, that's it. So I don't think I would have been able to handle going to school at the same time as going to work. Yeah. One of my lowest was college, so I empathize, Doremi says. Yeah, thank you for that. And it's hard to take masters, Dare says. I wouldn't recommend it unless you enjoy learning. That's true. And at that point in college, I didn't enjoy learning, at least in the classroom, anymore. What was this? Doremi also says... Gastos pa. Yeah. Yes, mas mahal tuition kesa sa sweldo. Ouch. That's true. If your tuition for your master's degree is even more expensive than your salary, ooh, Nelly. And not to mention, you still have to pay for food or your rent and all that bunch of jazz. Doremi is asking, Dare, did you also take masters? Yeah, that's a very good question if you feel like answering that, Dare. But for me, I decided to stick with that. And I would like to welcome Nyx as well. Thank you very much for sharing your community with me as well. And for those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Serjay Svek. I am the color server VTuber, and I'm one of... And currently, this is the DJ Serjay Just Chatting show, where I just talk about my experiences, anything that interests me, and anything that the chat decides to bring up. But normally, I also play games like Splatoon or any other games on the Nintendo Switch, which also includes Dark Souls. So if you want to see my gaming content as well, I also have my VODs available on YouTube. Just search for Serjay Svek. And I'm currently going through Dark Souls 1. And this weekend, I'll also be playing some Splatoon 3, where I'll be participating in the Big Run event. And again, and also Daigaren, thank you very much for following as well. And once again, thank you, Nyx. Good to have you here. Hiya, darling. Nyx says, well, hiya to you as well. And glad to have you back as well, Nyx. Good to see you. Good to see you. And yep, if you want to, I think I gave a shout out. Yeah, if you want to follow another amazing Just Chatting streamer, go ahead and follow Nyx as well. One of my other inspirations for doing more Just Chatting streams like this. So credit where credit is due as well. So for those who are new comers right now, we are talking about our topics originally started with Korean barbecue. Then we moved on to how difficult it is to actually get to commute in the Philippines right now, especially in the month of December. Like just last night, it took me like 3 hours to book a Grab ride. Horrible, horrible. And now it's also about what was that? Also about college, how college was like, and how after I graduated from college, I decided, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to take masters anymore. I'm happy. I'm happy with my diploma. Let me just go to work. That's it. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, thank you for following Doremi as well. And Ermitanio using the 8-ball. Thank you for using the 8-ball. So yes, I do have the 8-ball command. So if you feel like asking some questions that you think are very important to you, go type exclamation point 8-ball. And let's see if you'll get some good responses for today. All right. Tachikoma says, it's... Ermitanio says, lakad ka na lang, mas mabilis pa. Just go walk. You know what's funny, Ermitanio, is that when we went to the Korean restaurant last night, I actually had an appointment. And I know that it's going to be super hard for me to book a ride in Grab. So I walked 30 minutes going back to the office. And I was a sweaty mess. But if you don't know me, I already have an extra change of clothes in my locker, so that at least you or me, I won't, appear in the office smelling of samgyeopsal smoke and sweat. So it's always good to have an extra pair of clothes handy, as in. That's one lesson that I learned, and I remember when I was younger that I used to be teased by some of my coworkers because they were like, "Oh, Serjay, you're such a Boy Scout, why are you carrying an extra big bag with extra clothes?" Like that. But then after we walked outside for a very long time and it was super hot, they were all drenched in sweat, and me, I was there standing off to the side in my fresh clothes. So who's laughing now? In your face. There we go. I didn't say that, of course. But inside, I was smugly laughing. The point is, it's always good to be prepared. So that when the time comes that you actually need something, it's good to finally have what you need prepared. One thing that I learned from the EDC community is that, it's better to have something and not need it than when you need something and not have it. Which is why whenever I go travel, I always bring things like an extra flashlight, not from my cell phone, a flashlight, chargers, cables, power banks, stuff, medicine, an extra dental floss, stuff like that. I'll say this, if you cannot bring anything else in your pocket, please bring one of those tiny dental flosses. I assure you, if you are not careful, you will be surprised at how much food gets stuck between your teeth. Especially if you eat samgyeopsal. It's always the pork and beef that gets stuck between my teeth. Seriously. And that's why I always bring dental floss. Always. So let's see. Let's go back to the chat for a bit. Yeah, it's always in December season when everything gets really, really hectic when you're not able to get rides as much as possible. For those of you who are also commuting, whether by bus, by Grab, or angkas by motorcycle, I wish you all the best of luck. What does it say again? What did they say in the Hunger Games? May the odds ever be in your favor. Whatever. I never watched the movies and never read the books. You get what I'm saying. Okay, you get what I'm saying. Going back to what Dare says here in the chat, because we're talking about taking masters after college. Haha, I mean, most people from academe would go for it since that is one of the requirements for teaching in college. I'm not in the academe industry. That's true. One of the things I wanted to do after I graduated from college was actually to become a teacher. But I found that to teach, you actually need to be trained. Yeah, and I didn't want to spend more money, taking masters just so I could teach. I found that I did not have the heart for it at all. But yeah, it's something. It's something. So if you have your heart into it, go ahead and do it. But if you're not, don't force yourself to do it. And yeah, today is a holiday, December 8th. What is everybody's plan today? Because for most people, you're able to celebrate December 8th holiday and maybe stay at home or maybe hang out with friends. For me, I don't have that luxury. I still have to go to work later. But, that's just how it is. Like what we said earlier in the stream, you just have to adjust. Palagi na lang akong nag-a-adjust. Ba't ako? My leg is numb. Oh my goodness. Because I've been sitting down for a very long time. Don't forget to stretch your legs, everybody. You know that feeling when you sit down for a long time and then your leg becomes numb, and then when you stand up, you can feel all the blood rushing? Like that. Hurts. Okay, now it's feeling better. So anyway, going back to what Dare says, Doremi says, pero mahalaga, what's important is that you finished and you're imba. Tachikoma says, yeah, achievement, masters is an achievement. You're now a master ball. And regarding my ability to actually keep a bunch of stuff with me, especially when I go out, hoarder mentality. I prefer being a Boy Scout, or Girl Scout, yes, always. And let's see here. Yeah, I could never have the patience to teach, because one of my earlier jobs. Oh, wow. Okay. 25% total to the community challenge. So yes, I am actually doing a community challenge, which is to do ASMR voice only. I'd like to specify that I don't have an ASMR microphone. I don't know much about ASMR, but I just wanted to try, something which is, just like talking an ASMR voice. And thank you for the contribution at the G. And Doremi, thank you for actually redeeming the first. And Dare for the 460 total. Thank you for that. Yes, inspired by you at the G, because I know you like the redeem that I have, because one of my new redeems is just to do ara ara. So if you want to go ahead and redeem that so you can hear it for yourselves, feel free to do so. Yes, for real, mad respect to all of your teachers. As in, now that I actually had some experience in education, just to specify, I was not a teacher, because teachers are the ones with like the master's degree and the training. I was just a tutor, an English tutor. I do not have the patience of actually going through a curriculum. Like, for this year, the students have to understand this level of learning. And after a bunch of years, if they still don't learn to that level, it feels sad, you know? It's very sad, because education is supposed to be a two-way street. Or three. There's like three things that you need for proper education. You need the educator, the one who will teach. You will need the student, or the one who will listen or absorb what the educator is saying. And you need the environment. So is the environment that you're studying in good for learning? And if one of those things does not work, then education cannot happen. And sometimes, you know, I know that it's sometimes difficult to teach students because they don't want to follow, but it's also bad for me because I want to do my best to teach. And thank you for following, Fishy Face. Good to have you here. And where are my matters? Let me go ahead and shout out at the G as well. So if you don't know, At the G actually is an amazing artist and singer as well. And she will be having her debut, correct me if I'm wrong, At the G, this Sunday. So if you haven't yet followed At the G, go ahead and give her a follow so she could be part of her debut. Let's go ahead and support all of the members of our community. Okay, let's see what else we got in chat. Yeah, I don't have the patience to teach. Just stream. That's true. Dare says, you can teach in high school, though, if you have a college degree, which is true. But it's always more advantageous to have like a master's or a PhD. Tonk, thank you for the contribution as well. And wait a second, let me check here. And let's see, salute to them, yes. And what's this? Or I could be a corporate trainer. Yeah, that's good too, but you know, it's kind of I don't want to be in a situation where I like train people, even in corporate, because again, it's like you have to be responsible for their growth. If it were like I'm just there to teach you something for like a minute or like for a single session, kaya pa. Or if I'm just gonna be a leader in a project, I'm gonna hate it, but at least I will still follow it in a way. But anyway, that's just me. I hope that for those of you who do want to be educators in your own way, do not be disheartened by my experiences. You can do much better than me. Learn from me. Learn what not to do from me. And I think that's something that's important, because one thing that I realize is that you can learn from anybody. You can learn from anybody. You can learn what to do from certain people and what not to do from some people. So, just a little bit of input there. At the G said, I spent all of my Svek coins on that challenge. I want the ASMR stream. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. Thank you for the lurk, Tachikoma. And Fishy Face also, thank you for the follow as well. Let me go ahead and give you a shout out as well. Thank you for dropping by. And I hope that you're having a good day. And let's see. Doremi, thank you for the 100% agree on those 3 factors of education, and also for the cheer as well. Really, really happy to see that. Thank you. And at the G, you're very welcome. for the shout out. We always want to do our part to support everybody for, in this community as well. This community that has been very, very kind to me as well. Okay, and thank you for the 33, Doremi. And by the way, everybody, it looks like we're going to be having our ad coming up. So what's going to happen is that we're going to go on a 10-minute break. I'm going to... the 10-minute break is so that we can run some ads, so that we can just have the next 1 hour without any pre-roll ads, without any mid-roll ads. So just allow us some time, and I'll go ahead and talk to you very soon. But let me just read very quick again if there's anything else. Yeah, teaching is also a learning experience, not just for students, but also for teachers. I think we can all learn from each other, authority figure or not, which is very, very true. Always, no matter how old you are, how experienced you are, there's always something to learn from anyone. And thank you very much, Doremi, saying, deserve beat, you've been very kind to us. Well, that touches my heart. Thank you. And yep, the ads will be starting soon. I'll go ahead and leave a message, and I'll talk to you again in 10 minutes so that we can have a full hour of ad-free viewing. So just sit tight, everybody. I appreciate your patience, and I hope to talk to you again. I hate it when Twitch does this. It's like they're having the ad starting soon, but it takes forever. Twitch, please. Now would be a good time. Here we go. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience, and good to have you all here once again. And now we've got another hour's worth of ad-free viewing. And I appreciate at the G for really filling in on what's happening with the goals. So again, the goal is to do a community challenge to do ASMR voice stream. So just to be clear, before I forget, I also want to acknowledge Leon Bartolome Steele, who is also in the chat. I gave him a shout out during the break, but I want to just recognize that if you want also another prominent talk show host in the Philippine VTuber community, go ahead and follow Leon. And he does a bunch of interviews in his Leon's Den show. He has already interviewed a bunch of Philippine VTubers already. And who knows? Maybe if I get lucky, I'll go ahead and join the Leon's Den too. And maybe, Leon, you can go ahead and come here to the DJ Serjay show as well. One of these days. Hashtag manifesting. And well, look at that. We've got the ASMR voice stream raised. Wow. You know, it's gonna be a bit awkward because I'm gonna be playing Splatoon next. So imagine if I go to playing Splatoon, and then my best friend is gonna be like this, you know. But before we get to that, I just want to say I want to go through the comments. So, nice color there says, yes, you know what? Actually, I'm going to go to the credit. So if you want to know like who does all of my art, all of my backgrounds and the music, because I know Leon also mentioned the music, go and follow my artists. The links are there. So my artist Milas, the editor of my YouTube videos Gladius, and the sources of this music. So the music that you're listening to right now is done by David Cutter Music, one of my primary sources of music for when I stream. And if you prefer using Spotify, you can use Stream Beats as well. So that's a bunch of that as well. And let's see. Yeah, and if you, especially for Milas, really amazing artist, has done pretty much all the work. My background, my logos, my model, and even the movement of my model to make it into a GIF instead of a PNG. So he has gone above and beyond. So show him some love in his art station as well. And let's go back to the chat. Yes, you can. I do have a bunch of new redeems where you can tell me to say something in the chat if you redeem some Svek coins. So I could use a goofy voice, old man voice, uwu. I could say something with uwu. I can do an ASMR voice as well. And talking about script reading. Yeah, Leon does script reading. That's interesting, at the G says. I mean, I've listened to a few ASMRs, but not script reading yet. Leon says, it's fun at the G. Just be wary when it's the not safe for work ones. And thank you for welcoming me back, Doremi. And at the G says, did you say smutty? That really piqued at the G's interest right there. And yes, with all of your help, in just one stream, we managed to reach the community challenge. So thank you, everybody. We're gonna see what it's like if I play Splatoon pero ASMR. I think for those of you who have seen my shorts on YouTube or the clips that I post on Twitter, whenever I post something on Splatoon, usually it's really my voice is like really high pitched and excited. And especially also when I play Dark Souls, my voice is like this normally. But if I scream, it goes way high. So imagine if I scream while in an ASMR voice. So as a reward for everybody who contributed to this one, I'll let you have this one for free. Okay? So before I forget, let me just also shout out Mika as well. Thank you very much for dropping by, Mika. Good to have you here. and I hope and it's good to see you in the DJ Serjay show. So let me just put that there. So this one is going to be free. I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of ASMR as well. And Mika is also a streamer. Last streaming Genshin Impact. So let me just put off the music here at the background. So what I mean by ASMR, again, is that I'm not going to do like the regular ASMR triggers like... Or the tippy tappies like this. Or something like that. Not really like that. But it's just more of trying to devour my microphone and speak in an ASMR voice. So it's like... Hi there everybody. How is everybody doing today? Did you have your breakfast? You know, I like it when good girls and boys eat their breakfast. I don't like it when you don't eat your breakfast, especially on a holiday. What are you planning on this holiday? Why don't you go ahead and tell it to me in the chat? That's a very good boy and a very good girl. How do they not laugh when they do this? Yeah, that's right. You like it when you like it when I call you a good girl or a good boy, don't you? No, see, it's more like Batman, Leon. It's more like Batman. Where's the trigger? Where is she? Where's the trigger? Pull it. Man, this is exhausting. Husk, thank you for the resub. Just to explain, we reached a community challenge where I'm going to speak in this kind of ASMR voice only for the entire stream. And I'm just giving a demonstration of what it would sound like if I do that. Imagine 2 hours of me going like in Splatoon. Oh, the Splatter Shot Pro is at our left. Okay, be very careful. Yeah, you got the Splatter Shot. That's a good boy right there. Yeah, you like it when I call you a good boy, don't you? And I just devour my microphone. Oh my goodness. Yes, the horror. Husk. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know, some people like it apparently. Leon, I don't know how you're able to do script reading like this for ASMR without bursting into laughter. I don't know how some people are able to do this. This is like a whole other that. Yeah, you could just do the voice. It doesn't have to be sexual. That's true. That's true. I'm just, you know, it's like, it's part of the experience. It's part of the experience. No. Don't worry. When we finally get to playing Splatoon, for example, or Dark Souls, using ASMR voice, I will be too preoccupied trying to talk like this without having to do that. But yes, thank you very much for dropping by, Mika. And you go ahead. If you're going to go ahead and go, then you have a good day. If you're going to take the holiday off, then you have a good rest. Or if you need to do stuff, I hope you accomplish your goals. And that's the same that applies to everybody else as well. And also, since Husk is here as well, I would like to give a shout out to Husk, who is another VTuber, but he's actually a skeleton VTuber. And I did not know that the skeleton VTuber community was actually pretty big. So he is very skilled in Dark Souls or Soulsborne games. So if you want to see someone who is doing a series on Dark Souls games and stuff like that, like Sekiro, Bloodborne, bunch of stuff, go ahead and follow Husk. And I love his model too. Okay? You'll be surprised at how cool the skeleton VTuber community is. And Husk being my introduction to them as well. Okay, so before we went to these ASMR shenanigans, for those of you who just came in during the break, we were talking about transportation, food, exercise, and education as well, like how hard it is to be a teacher. And it's not easy actually, accomplishing all of those things. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are. And one thing that I want to say is that going back to one of the topics that I almost neglected at the beginning of the stream, Koreans love cheese. So if I was not a big anime fan or a big fan of Japan growing up, I would have probably been a Korean fan or a K-pop fan. Just for the simple matter that they love cheese. As in, nothing beats going to a samgyeopsal place and then they give you a bowl of melted cheese that you could put on the grill, and then when it starts bubbling, you can put your meat and drizzle some cheese on top of it. Good stuff. And did you know, when I went to Korea some years ago, I actually, the thing that really amazed me most is that in the Korean 7-Elevens, they actually have bags of shredded cheese. So what they would do is that, let's say you bought the ramyun cup noodles. What they would do is that they would open up the ramyun and then they would put in the seasonings and all that stuff, like what we normally do with our cup noodles. And then they would buy one of those bags of shredded cheese, and then they would pour the shredded cheese on top of the noodles. And then when you pour your hot water and then wait your usual 3 minutes, then you will get melted cheese on top of your cup noodles. That's the good stuff right there. That's the good stuff. And also in Korean stores, they also have packs of ready cooked rice. And what they would do is that they would do the same. So they would open the pack of rice, pour the cheese on top, seal it again, pop it in the microwave, and boom, cheesy rice. It really brings me back to the days of star rice. So star rice, I don't know if it was just my generation that went through it, but star rice is what you get when you have hot, fresh steaming rice and you put some star margarine on top of it. Because star margarine was advertised as like a super healthy food. It really had all of these advertisements saying, yeah, this is really good for kids and stuff like that. And then, and it was like, it will help them grow up, give them stronger bones, give them energy and stuff. Until I learned later on in life that margarine in general is not that healthy, apparently. Because of, it's because of its chemical composition and the fact that it uses vegetable oil and stuff. You're a lot better using butter on your rice, actually. So, yeah, you might as well just use butter on your rice, just like what they do in Persia Grill or those Middle Eastern restaurants. Oh, yeah. Just put a knob of butter on top of your rice and then that's it. Yeah, there's more fat than butter. More fat in margarine than butter. And yeah, Leon is very, very vocal about that. Yeah. At the G says, I remember that. They always advertise food stuff like that as healthy. Yes. And it works. It works. But eventually you realize that margarine is not that healthy. So if you want to do that, you might as well just use butter. And also, did you know that dairy cream is not butter? I'll say it again. Dairy cream is not butter. It's actually margarine as well. But it's shaped like a butter stick. So, yeah. Wait, let me just check my sources, make sure it's correct. Yeah, so dairy cream is because it looks like a regular butter stick, and then for the longest time I thought it was also butter too, but apparently no, it's not. It's margarine. Yeah, it's fine print there, see? Dairy cream, buttermilk, premium margarine, cholesterol-free food. There. It's in the fine print. There. So, today you learn. So what's the real butter? I don't know. Magnolia, I guess? Queensland? Man, that's so expensive. Queensland butter. Gosh. My goodness. At the G says, when I go grocery shopping, I have to read the labels because these corporations are sneaky. Yeah. I'ma read the real butters. Yeah. Go for Queensland, I guess. That's a good start. Hashtag not sponsored. Or you could actually make your own butter. All you need to make your own butter is that you just need some milk. Because we tried this before. Just get some milk. And then if you have like the mixer, you could go ahead and just for like a long time. And then eventually it will harden. Or it become like fluffy. And then you put a little bit of salt in it if you want to. And then put it in the fridge. But just be warned. If you make homemade butter, it's not going to be yellow naturally. So if you want to make yellow butter, you actually have to put a little bit of achiote seeds, which in Tagalog is achuete. Achuete seeds. So the same seeds that they use in the chicken oil of Mang Inasal to give it that orange yellowish color. So that's usually like the classic way to do it. Achuete seeds, put it in the mixture so you can go give the butter that yellow color. The oil, I mean, sorry. And then that's it, you get yellow butter. But I'll tell you, if you want to bake or if you want to use a recipe, I suggest, or one of my friends who also bakes, he says, always use unsalted butter. Always unsalted. Because if you're watching your salt, you cannot really predict what is the salt amount in the butter that you're using. I think Leon would know, because you say you bake, right, Leon? If you use salted butter, chances are, and if you put extra salt, you can't really predict how much salt is in the butter itself. So the safest bet is to always use unsalted butter when baking. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just getting it from the testimony of a friend. At the G says, I didn't know that about the chicken oil in asal. Yeah, that's it. They use achuete seeds. And if I don't know the process of how you do it, but if you extract the oil from achuete seeds, that's where you get the chicken oil. And that's what you use to baste on the chicken, and the drippings that come out become the basis of the chicken oil. So yeah. Man, if you go to JT's nowadays, I think you have to pay extra to get some extra chicken oil. In Mang Inasal, it's still free, but the one in JT's, I think, tastes a lot better because it has a much smokier flavor. Yes, it's extra cholesterol. Yes, it's bad for your heart, but it's so good. So Leon is saying, well, yeah, it might change the chemical reaction during the baking when you're using salted butter. Ah, okay, I see. Does anyone have a favorite inasal place that they go to? Mine is JT's. Yeah, JT's. But, oh no. What was that place in Makati Cinema Square? Aside from JT's? It's nuts, I forgot about it already. But Especially if you go for unlimited rice, Mang Inasal still cannot be beat. I remember when I was in the highlight video that I posted yesterday, which on my YouTube channel, which is mostly, even though we were playing Splatoon with my friends, it became like an impromptu podcast because we could not get any connections in the games. So we eventually just ended up talking about food a lot. And I'll put the link here so you could see some of the insanity that we went through. And one of the topics was that since Mang Inasal offers unlimited rice, one of my friends said that they would eat 10 rice in Mang Inasal. 10. How? How is that even possible? And the chicken in Mang Inasal is not even that big. So it's just like one bite of chicken, you swallow an entire serving of rice. I don't know how these people are able to do that. But yeah. And you know what's funny? It seems to be very common for people who are like cheer dancers or who go through dance practice. It's like, but I guess it's understandable because, you know, cheer dancing and dancing is a very demanding activity. So you probably need to get all that energy back when you burn it. Yeah. Oh, Leon used to be able to do that, but God no more. Understandable. Chat, if you're in the chat, for anyone in the chat, feel free to share how much rice are you able to finish in one meal. Cups of rice. For me, my largest is 3 cups of rice. But now I thankfully am only able to do 1. So I've learned to limit myself, thankfully. At the G says, speaking of big chicken, does anyone remember Texas fried chicken? Yeah, I think I remember that one. Texas fried chicken. Let me just take a look at the logo. That's the green one, right? At the G? Let's see. Yeah, Texas chicken. Yeah, that's the one. Texas chicken. I remember that being in SM. They sold chicken burgers, chicken meals and stuff. I remember going there before. It was not that good for me. I'm sorry if you liked it, but I'm not a big fan of it. In the same way that I'm not a big fan of El Pollo Loco. I always wondered how is it that El Pollo Loco is still around in one of those malls for all those years. I guess some people like it better than I do, but I never understood the taste of El Pollo Loco or Texas chicken. But yeah, if you're going back to your question at the G, the One Piece is real, Texas chicken is real. Oh, Texas chicken had the huge chicken. Yeah, they had like big chicken back in the day. I didn't like it. They replaced quality with quantity. And you know, speaking of quantity and chicken, did any one of you ever participate in the Unli Chicken promo of Max's Chicken Restaurant? I did a few times, a couple of times with my family. So for the non-Filipino viewers out there, Max's Restaurant is a very old restaurant in the Philippines, and its main focus is chicken. And it's pretty much, if you go there, it's pretty much your exposure to things like Worcestershire sauce. Because people would combine the Worcestershire sauce with the banana ketchup and eat the chicken with it. Anyway, I digress. The point is that a few years ago, every once in a while, Max's would have an unlimited chicken promo. So like for like maybe like at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., customers that would go in and they would have unlimited chicken. So it's usually like a breast or a thigh or a drumstick. You would be given a piece at a time, and then when you're done, you can call the waiter to give you another and another and another and another. Sometimes you would be given rice if you want to, but my family said, no, Serjay, don't go for the rice. Go for the chicken. It always seems to be like the tip. If you're going to a buffet or anything like that, do not order rice. Do not get pasta. Do not get fries or anything carbohydrates, because it's going to fill you up. If you want to maximize the amount of food that you're going to eat, just eat all the meat. No rice. At the G says, I can never pronounce Worcestershire. It's where's your sister's sauce? I have never heard it pronounced as where's your sister's sauce, but that's a today I learned right there. At least it's not worse sauce. That's a very, very weird way of shortening it. Worse sauce. But yeah, I think for a bunch of us in the Philippines, Max's restaurant is like our first exposure to Worcestershire sauce. So, yeah. It's very hard to even find places that actually give you A1 steak sauce and stuff like that. Unless you go to Rax's. Rax. But anyway, I digress. Ermitanio says, eat all the fat. Yes. Okay, confess, chat. Do any of you, like if you eat if any of you eat like a pork chop, or if you eat a steak, do you eat the fat? Because whenever I eat barbecue or a pork chop or a steak or basta anything that has like fat in it, I never touch the fat. I hate the texture of chewing the fat. I like fatty food. I know that's not a good thing to say. I like eating fatty food, but I cannot eat fat at all. It makes me want to throw up. The weird texture, the gooiness is like, oh my gosh. But you want to know what's another kind of fatty food that my friends like to eat back in the day? I don't know if your school had this, but in my high school, you could actually buy fried chicken skin. Just fried chicken skin in a cup, and then eat it with rice. So no chicken inside, just the fried chicken skin. So it's kind of like chicken chicharrones. Or chicharron. Tagalog chicharron. In Spanish, it's chicharrones. At the G says, I try not to. The only fat I like to eat is chashu. From ramen. Those thin strips of fat and a bit of meat that just melts in your mouth once it's on ramen. Yes. Speaking of which, I don't know if you recall, but the other day I actually had a real life stream where I was in Mendocoro Ramen Ba, and then I think that if you want like the best ramen in Metro Manila, go ahead and try Mendocoro Ramen. It's expensive, but the chashu just melts in your mouth, and the soup is super thick. So thick that if you don't stir the soup, it's like it hardens a bit. Yeah, Mila's can attest. He was there watching when I was having the Mendocoro Ramen Ba stream. And again, welcome Milos, one of my good friends and my mods, and also the designer of my model and all of my art assets. So again, good to have you here, old friend. So Mendocoro for me is like the highest in terms of Metro Manila ramen. And then right below that is Ramen Nagi, because it's also expensive. But the thing that makes it special is that because of all the gimmicky limited edition flavors. Like the time when they had lechon. Was it lechon? No. Salmon ramen. And if you want a really good but cheap option, budget option, then I recommend Ramen Kuroda as well. Ramen Malaki. Oh, Ermitanio. Yes, Black King Ramen from Ramen Nagi, the garlicky stuff. That's the good stuff. And of course, if you want to go for the super accessible option, Pancit Canton, always. Lucky Me is the best. Lucky Me Pancit Canton, extra spicy. I'll tell you, I have tried to enjoy chili mansi or the calamansi flavor of Lucky Me Pancit Canton. It just doesn't feel right to me at all. So the only thing I have is the extra spicy one, as in. Leon says, make an Indomie omelette. One Indomie and one egg. Oh, it's kind of like what the Japanese do with their omelets. Sometimes they put noodles inside. Yeah, that's actually... And isn't it, Leon? I think it was you that you mentioned you were planning to make a curry omelette as well. I think. So correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I think that might have been you on Twitter that said that. That is the only time I accept crushing the noodles. Leon, you ate it all already? Oh my goodness, wow. That must have been a really good curry omelette, goodness gracious. My gosh. And that brings me back, that just brings back memories of high school again. Huh. So anyway, yeah, all this topic of food, it always goes back to food. It always goes back to food in the DJ Serjay show. Food is what brings people together and what makes everything a lot better. But of course, responsible eating, everybody. Responsible eating. Why do you think my model is like this? Because I eat a lot of food. Trying to make it reflect how I look like in real life, pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much what we've got so far. It was a really, really good run, I must say. And I can't wait to see what else everybody has got planned. I think at the G would really be going to would really be going for the ramen. And no, Ermitanio, I'm not white, unfortunately. I am not white. I am not like this. I am myself. I am just regular Filipino. That's all. It's just a stylistic choice of the model. So anyway, that's that. So I hope everybody is going to eat their breakfast because it's 8:52 a.m. Goodness gracious. I hope you got the chance to eat while we were going there. And I may look like Kratos in terms of skin color, but thankfully I don't come with all of the emotional baggage that he goes through. And this is the part where I'm sure Milos would also recommend that you play God of War Ragnarok if you haven't played it already. So yeah. I wish I had a wife and child, actually, too, but thankfully I don't have to worry about that because that's not part of the package. Excuse me. So anyway, that's pretty much that's where we are right now. And again, I hope that everybody had their share of fun. We're going to what's this? Have the ASMR stream during my next stream. So I'm going to go for. So we met our community challenge goal again of having an ASMR stream, and we're going to do that on Sunday. So on Sunday evening, I'm going to be doing my usual game stream, probably Splatoon. Most likely it's going to be Splatoon. Wait, when is the big run again? Today is Friday the 8th, 9, 10, Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so most likely by Sunday evening, I'll be going online playing some Splatoon, and I'll be doing my ASMR voice just like this. I'm going to be talking and only like this for the entire stream, so wish my vocal cords luck. Or as Leon calls it, Batman voice. But yeah, that's where we are right now, and if you haven't yet followed, feel free to go ahead and follow as well. Ah yes, Leon, you got your Switch. Go ahead and save up for Splatoon 3. I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of fun, and we could also collab too if you feel like it one of these days. And at the G says, what time is it again, the stream? I think I'll try doing it like maybe 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. because I'm trying to move my streams a little later, because if I go to my old schedule of 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Philippine time, I don't really get a lot of rest as well. So I'm trying to think of me. Care for yourself first. So maybe around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. But I will definitely let everybody know. And if you haven't done Twitter, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. The links to all of my stuff are on my About page. Oh, Ria, good to have you here. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Good to have you here. And let's give you a shout out. Oh, thank you for the shout out as well. So yeah, hello. And if you want to follow another Philippine streamer, let's go ahead and extend our love, our Serjavian Nation love to the community. Follow Ria, another gaming streamer. And yeah, it's about that time because we kept talking about food. It's become a running joke in my community that we always have to run a poll regarding best fast food fried chicken. So it's gonna be Jollibee. Then the next one is gonna be McDonald's. Then the next is KFC, and then the next is Popeyes. So go ahead and start a vote. You have 5 minutes. Gosh, it's gonna be like this. Ria, welcome to the stream again. Glad to have you here. I hope that you are doing well. Do you have any plans for the holiday? Because again, it's December 8th for today here in the Philippines, and for a number of you, it will be holiday time. So I hope that you have something planned, whether it's just to rest or to have some goals set out. And if you have any plans, I hope you accomplish all of the goals that you need to do. So we're gonna see the results of this poll in about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna wrap up. But yeah, what we were talking mostly was just about food, again, as always, and a bunch of other topics like education, things. And did you know, and in terms of education, did you know, Ria, that dairy cream is not butter? It's actually margarine. Because for some people here, it's not. Ria says, my cat would smash the Jollibee button for real. Ria says, I have work, no holiday. Oh, you know what, Ria? You are not alone. I also have work today. So definitely, I feel how you feel. Why McDo? Change it to Papa John's. Papa John's is not known for their chicken milas. Okay, I think they have chicken, but they're not known for that. Okay, they're known for pizza. Next thing you know, you're gonna. Next time when we run this poll, we're not gonna focus on fast food chicken anymore. We're gonna focus on convenience store chicken. So we're gonna focus on Mini Stop, 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and Lawson's. There we go. So come to the next stream and we'll go have that poll as well. It's just a running joke. Yeah, Uncle John's. You know what? Mini Stop has been renamed to Uncle John's. The Mini Stop in my place still bears the name of Mini Stop. But I did pass by the other day one place, and it does have the Uncle John's name already. Because, like, the franchise left, and then, since it was still under the Gokongwei group, it was shifted to Uncle John's as well. And that was also a revelation to me, because it's like, you know, Deli France before. Deli France was a thing, those French cafes, but after it got taken over by Jollibee, it became Cafe France. So it's not that Deli France just stopped existing, it's just because it exists under a different name now. So that's new. Yeah, pretty much where we're coming from. So again, if you haven't followed yet, follow all of the people that have so graciously visited us today. So again, I would just like to give thanks to Doremi and Nyx for the raids as well, and for Inumaki, Bengun, Dare, Daigoren, Fishy Face for the follows, and Doremi for the cheers, and Husk for the resub. Oh, Chowking Chicken. Why do I keep forgetting Chowking? I'm so sorry. Whenever we run the poll, I always forget to put Chowking, but yeah, Chowking is good. The Chowking Chinese fried chicken is best. Well, it's pretty good as well. Yeah, I may be missing stuff. I would probably put Texas chicken, but I'm not sure if a lot of people still remember Texas chicken exists. So let's just move on. Woo, Nelly. Okay, so what we're doing right now, let's go ahead and just see who we can raid for today. And yeah, again, just a reminder. Oh, Kreia Ritzel, thank you very much for dropping by. Good to see you. Good to see you. And yeah, we're actually about to wrap up, but I'm happy to see you as well. Kreia is actually another streamer, so go ahead and give them a follow, show some support. And we actually are running a poll right now, which is the best fast food fried chicken. Is it Jollibee? Is it McDonald's? Is it KFC? Or is it Popeyes? And I keep forgetting to put Chowking. But yeah, just a bunch of other places that are very popular. But that's how it is. So again, if you want to show some support, let's go follow Kreia as well. And Shakey's Chicken, yes, should also get a mention. Okay, so this time I have not forgotten to read the results. We now have a tie between Jollibee and KFC. 2 votes each. Wow. Leon says, Chicken Joy no longer brings me joy. Why is that, Leon? Why? But why? Or as the kids would say, oh nar. Oh nar. Goodness gracious. It's tiny. Well, yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. I miss the old days when the portions used to be a lot bigger, but again, inflation, prices going up, all that, it ain't good. It's a very sad thing, unfortunately. but that's just what we gotta live with now. But anyway, Ria, Kreia, thank you very much for dropping by. And just so you know, if you haven't yet followed or you're not familiar with it, in my next stream, I'm going to be doing an ASMR only voice. So I'm going to be playing Splatoon, and I'm going to be talking just like this while I'm going to play Splatoon. And hopefully my vocal cords will handle that. And maybe if you want to go ahead and follow, I'll be doing it this Sunday, probably 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. as well. Kreia says, I enjoy KFC chicken only when it's swimming in gravy. Yes, I know you in chat. Those of you who are making the chicken swim in gravy. You're making the gravy into soup. Confess. You don't even see your rice underneath the gravy anymore. Or if you order those mashed potatoes, those mashed potato bowls, you get a free bowl of gravy. Yeah, so wish my vocal cords luck when I go ahead and stream next time with this ASMR voice. Leon and Ria seem to be very, very suspicious right here among us. But I'll go ahead and rest up too, because like Ria, I have work later. So unfortunately, it is what it is. So we do have the raid message up. We're gonna be showing some support here to another member of the community. And yes, please pray for my vocal cords. You know what? Another thing that I plan to do during another Sunday, probably on the 18th of December, I plan to do a Christmas Carol sing-along. So I'm gonna be singing a bunch of stuff like that, mostly Tagalog Christmas carols, because that's what I learned to do in the choir. So there's that. Rest up your voice for the ASMR stream. I will do my best to do that. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you hanging out with me in the Serjavian Nation. And no, not Taglish, Tagalog. And some English as well. And if you haven't yet followed and you like my content, go ahead and give me a follow here on Twitch. And if you want to see me offline as well, like on Twitter, all the links to my posts, all the links to my socials rather, are on the About page of my Twitch. And we're going to go visit the Ninja Mermaid. But in the meantime, you take care, always stay safe, and keep the world turning. Bye now, everyone. See you later.